Stugotz, you tell me if you believe that my analysis here, because a lot of analysis that comes in the sports information field comes from people who do not see their blind spots, okay? When I tell you that I believe the audience is connecting here with me, not for reasons of self-involvement, but I believe that the audience is doing, we don't get consensus in sports about anything.
Right.
I think the audience is like, why was Justin Fields that cheap? Why is he allowed to go to Pittsburgh and be the backup? Why doesn't every team in the league want something like that as possible hope? And hey, if my quarterback gets hurt, it'd be pretty nice to see Justin Fields back there. And I'm taking a one-year flyer on him because I think the audience thinks like me. Hey, he showed me enough flashes that I don't think Zach Wilson can play. I'm not sure about Bryce Young. We've sped it up on all these guys. You got 3 years. Figure it out or get out. 3 years. Hurry up. Like, your value or you're not, get out. Like, I'm sitting there for 3 years on Tua, Stugotz.
Yeah.
For 3 years, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Do you pay it $50 million if you need to keep that guy whose house catches fire and whose personal life is, raging outside of your huddle and those are your two top paid guys. You're building around one who a year ago we were worried about his head, and the other one we're worried about his head.
It seems like you're asking Fields and Russell Wilson at $4.5 million or Tua at 55.
I'm not. I saw you doing that last week with the Golix. It enraged me that you're just going to this cheap sports radio trick, just this old hit of yours, which Russell. You want this is the part I think the audience is connecting with me on. I think we're all looking at Justin Fields and being like, well, if quarterback is hope and I can put someone on the field who's a better athlete than everyone else, I'd like that on my team as a second option. Chicago doesn't need that when all they've ever had at quarterback is Jay Cutler. That's the best they've ever done. So I'd understand Chicago would be pissed off today because they know what a quarterback doesn't look like for many, many years. And Justin Fields occasionally looked like he could be someone who could be their quarterback.
Yeah, but Chicago cannot get upset. They have the number 1 overall pick in the draft. They have what everyone says is a generational quarterback in Caleb Williams. They have to get that right. You don't want Justin Fields sitting around there. I actually like what the Bears did. They probably thought the market was better for Justin Fields. Clearly it was not.
But you can't like what the Bears did from this perspective, Stugotz. The trade can't be, if you're the Chicago Bears, we're going to trade a 1, a 1, and a 2 to get up to number 11 to get Justin Fields. And then 3 years later, we're going to trade him for a 6 and have nothing to show for it. That's bad management. That's bad management 101. That's not the way to do it in a salary cap sport. You have to figure out in those 3 years whether your trade has value and you are traded a depreciated asset that depreciated only because you stink at your job.
Dan, they did figure it out. With Justin Fields as their quarterback, they have the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. I mean, they haven't been good with Justin Fields. So
it's Carolina's pick, but
I understand, but they move on to a generational quarterback in Caleb Williams, and you don't keep Justin Fields around. And from the Steelers standpoint,
no, you get more for him. It's not that you don't keep him around. You have to get more for him.
But Dan, clearly they couldn't get more. You're acting like you have 1 year of upside with Justin Fields, and then you have to figure out, do I have to pay him? What do I have to pay him? So you have 1 year to get it done with Justin Fields.
Is he a starting quarterback, yes or no?
I don't know.
Really?
I don't know.
I don't believe the audience thinks that. I don't believe that the audience saw him play, even though they lost, saw those throws to DJ Moore. You're bringing in Keenan Allen now.
Well, they're getting all the pieces that they didn't get for him now, right? So you don't really know what he is because he didn't have all of the weapons that Caleb Williams going to walk into the NFL having. But you also don't know that Caleb Williams is going to be the answer and that he's going to be the generational quarterback that you hope he is, right? But you also told everyone you're going to take him. So now everybody knows you don't need Justin Fields anymore, so you're going to get rid of him, which is why there wasn't a market for him because, to what Jess was saying before, at some point they're going to have to cut bait with him.
But that's
which
not
is why
doing
it's
it
just
well.
a 6.
That's
they did this to themselves. They did this to themselves.
We're talking about the Chicago Bears.
They completely did this to themselves. And even in Chris's hypothetical, right, which is, well, why don't you just keep both of them? You don't want to have that quarterback controversy. But also, you can't get much worse for him than a 6th rounder. So, what's the point of settling now for a 6th rounder? Because, during the season, if someone needs a quarterback, they're going to know, all I need is a 6th rounder for him. But you don't want to have the headache of having 2 quarterbacks, which now Pittsburgh kind of is going to have because they have kind of Russ, but they have him for 1 year. And then what are you going to do with Justin Fields? Is he the next guy? I don't know.
Yeah, but it's 2 cheap quarterbacks, both with something to prove. One has upside. Like, it's a great job by Mike Tomlin. To go from the quarterback room that he had last year to the quarterback room he has today,
no, it's a much better
fantastic.
quarterback room. Yeah.
Okay, and this is the take that everyone has today, and I am suspicious of the take that everyone agrees on because no one will disagree with Trubisky's out and Pickett's out and all those 3-yard passes when I know Pickens can play and I know that Harris is a good running back. They have some skill talent. I'm looking at their defense. It's elite. And so can they make a leap when it's not Mason Rudolph? And all of us are in agreement. All of us.
No.
Someone disagrees?
I tweeted this the other day, but they hired Arthur Smith as their offensive coordinator. I can't remember him playing with a quarterback like Russell Wilson or really like Justin Fields. I don't know what their offense is even going to look like, but I do think Justin Fields is interesting because you have your run game that the Steelers have established pretty well the last couple of years with Jalen Warren and Najee Harris. The offensive line's been playing a lot better, and they're probably going to get more pieces in the draft. And you have a quarterback like Justin Fields who's just like insanely creative and fast and athletic when he's playing his best. And the Bears, I don't think really understood how to use him, and the instability there was terrible, and the pieces around him were bad, and the offensive line was making him run for his life at times. So I'm interested by it, but I don't know if it's going to work, Dan. I really don't know if it's going to work. I know it'll probably be more interesting than what I watched last year, which was just 1 touchdown every 6 games.
But that's part of the trade that's being made here. Everyone's looking at it. Well, it'll be more interesting. Like, we're all agreeing with that part. It'll be
I'm
more
not saying
interesting.
it's for sure going to be good. I think a lot of people think like, oh, it'll be better. I don't know for sure. We'll find out.
Hot take, Russell Wilson was not happy about this. He went out publicly and was like, I'm supportive of this. I'm excited. Let's steal or whatever he said, right?
Yeah.
I think privately he let out a dang it like no one's business. Like he was upset about this situation.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju. Did Russell Wilson let out a dang it like
Privately,
nobody,
privately.
like nobody?
Privately, yeah.
Can I finish, please? Like
Okay.
nobody's business. And I'm going to have to reprimand Jessica here, and I don't know for sure. We'll find out. Is the title of the world's lamest podcast.
Isn't that like David Sampson's whole thing,
Wait to
though?
see.
I mean,
And I mock him too. Oh my God, it's awful. Wait to see is one of the worst slogans in the history of words slung together.
In sports radio,
It's
for
terrible.
sure. We don't wait and see.
Wait to see is one of the lamest catchphrases anyone has ever had. But I don't know for sure. We'll find out is actually fair commentary. But everywhere else around, I don't know for sure. We'll find out. Everyone has a very strong opinion. And a whole lot of people aren't saying, Arthur Smith, that's confusing. But let's look at this for a second, just for a second. That is a very stable franchise. Mike Tomlin has done winning. None of us can totally understand, and yet might be on the hot seat because it's not about getting to the playoffs or even winning seasons. Can't be 9-7, 10-7,
Losing the first round.
Losing the
every
first
year.
round,
Right.
and we know Pickett. That quarterback room's not good enough. We all can see. You can't play like that and win. You might surprise us, but you can't keep having winning seasons that aren't a bit of a mirage.
Billy, I'm wondering, did Jalen Hurts do the same thing when he found out that Kenny Pickett was coming to the Eagles? Like,
No, you're missing the part of the joke. It's the darn it. It's the
Dang it,
the dang
Privately.
it. Privately.
But Jalen wasn't happy. I'm reporting that.
I want to examine that this is a black coaching
Why are you
staff.
reporting that?
Upside, Pickett. I mean, you don't want Pickett hanging
don't
around your
believe
team.
that.
I just think some of this commentary is just so lame, Stugotz. We're afraid of a chant and quarterback controversy in this sport. That's what leadership is. I can't have 2 quarterbacks. I'm afraid of a chanting fan base. I'm a total coward. I'm Mike Tomlin. I'm scared. I have to be scared. I don't blink. I'm talking every week about we just need to get out of the stadium alive. I'm afraid that my fans are going to chant something.
It's why it's the perfect landing spot. Tomlin doesn't care if the fans chant for Fields. Mike Tomlin's going to do what Mike Tomlin wants to do.
I'm simply telling you when it comes to the analysis, Stugotz, of that position, and me hearing consensus of everyone thinks the Steelers did the right thing. And the meekest you can say is, I don't know, it might not work out, but it seems like a better quarterback room, obviously. And I want to just go back to the beginning of what we were saying. How is it that we don't know how to evaluate the position better than this? That the league can't assign values to these people that aren't this confusing? Because you've already wiped out the running back market, and I think that position's about to change. Like we saw Lamar Jackson without an agent, Stugotz. Atlanta did not want him. He's the MVP of the league. Deshaun Watson is a disaster. He's 25% of their salary cap, and because they're cowards, they won't bring back Flacco because they don't want the chanting.
Well, they got Jameis, though, so they want they're inviting the chanting. When you bring in Jameis, you're
not inviting the same
yes,
kind
you
of
are.
chant.
There's never been a Jameis chant.
Not the same chant.
I chant it every Sunday.
I can't believe Cleveland got rid of Flacco, and they're like, it didn't fit.
I feel like what's hard, though, is that the evaluation includes every team's individual situation as well as the quarterback's deal and how much time is left on it and how much money they have. And those things are individualized to each team. So it is hard to compare and contrast apples to apples, what every team wants and what every team can get out of a franchise. And that's how the Bears end up in this position where they know that they want to get rid of Justin Fields. They don't want to have 2 first-round pick quarterbacks in the locker room come draft night. And so everyone else knows they're going to do that, and they've got to dump him off where they can find they have said, and I don't know if this is true, but they have said they wanted to put him in a good position, and they don't want him to go to a team where there's already a starting quarterback like, for example, the Eagles, where Jalen Hurts is obviously the starter there, and B, somewhere that is going to give them something, and so they got a conditional 6th-round pick out of it.
Dan, just so we're clear, are you surprised teams like the Cowboys didn't go after Justin Fields? Like if Dak gets hurt, doesn't work out?
They have Trey Lance.
Stugotz, it's not surprise. This is what I'm just saying to you again and again. Trey Lance, thank you for mentioning him, okay? The 2021 draft now. You told me Zach Wilson was good at quarterback. Trey Lance, good at quarterback. Mac Jones, good at quarterback. Justin Fields, good at quarterback.
Do we know Trey Lance is good at quarterback?
No, I'm saying that the 2021 draft, look at what it did at quarterback. Nobody knows shit. Nobody knows anything. Nobody. You told me all those quarterbacks were good.
Now, in fairness, Jess said, we'll see how this plays
Yes,
out.
it's the only right take. I don't know for sure. We'll find out.
The Chiefs know something.